Good afternoon and welcome to the Indian Startup Pitch competition presented on Allergen TV. Today we're bringing together some innovative startups from India, each ready to pitch their unique solutions in front of our panel experts and international judges. This event in particular wouldn't be possible to organize without our incredible partners, Indian Tech Society and Tech India Advocates. Thank you so much for your support and make this pitch competition happen. So we're ready to start. Before we would watch our first startup pitch presentation, I would like to invite and introduce our special judges who joined us today, and they will give feedback to the presentations we will have very shortly. So I would like to invite Elif to join us and share your backgrounds, a few words about yourself and how do you work with startups.
Yeah, thank you, Slava, for inviting, and excited to see Indian startups today. Well, I'm an ex-founder as well, and then I co-created and managed Startup Istanbul, which was an acceleration program for emerging market founders from South Asia to Middle East, Africa, and also Eastern Europe. I did that for 8 years, and that's why I had a chance to work with early stage startups for more than 10, 12 years right now. I moved to London 5 years ago, and then right now I'm an advisor at Antler and also a mentor at Techstars. But what I do with startups, first I'm sourcing qualified deals for VCs and CVCs. And on the other side, I'm helping startups with fundraising rounds from seed stage to Series A mainly. We manage this fundraising rounds mainly in the domains of deep tech, mobility, clean tech, and also AI, B2B SaaS AI, obviously. And happy to see new startups today.
Thank you so much for your introduction. Please stay with us. And I would like to invite David Graham to join us and also make introductions. David, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Slava. Great to be here. Looking forward to seeing some of the great innovations that are coming out of India. So look forward to that today. My name is David Graham. I am also an ex-founder. 4 successful exits in my career. Last exit ended 2019, and since then I've been sort of helping startups accelerate their access to capital. I'm also a partner at Ultra VC that has an impact focus, and a partner at an emerging fund called Resonate, which is helping artists access SEIS funds in the UK. So going to be exciting, looking forward to it, and thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much, David, for joining us today. And also I would like to invite Tiago from Portugal to join us and also make an intro about yourself. Tiago, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Tiago. I was a developer for 10 years, and I started to invest in startups in 2020. I opened an incubator in Portugal 2 years ago, and now my mission is to help startups to internationalize and expand into the European user market.
Thank you so much for your intro. That's exciting. And also I would like to invite Alexander to join us and make intro about yourself. Alex, good afternoon.
Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here. So right now I specialize on growth and late stage deep tech in North America, Western Europe, and Southeast Asia. Before that, I used to work from investing in stages like seed and Series A. Also run my own company importing wines from exotic destinations into the UK, and worked across different industries like investment banking and private equity. Beyond that, right now, I advise governments of several emerging markets on innovation and investment operations, as well as advice in different acceleration programs across the world, like Techstars, Plug and Play, and Berkeley Skydeck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex, for your intro. And also, I would like to invite Matt to join our session and also make an intro about yourself. Matt, good afternoon.
Hi, I'm in my car today, so I hope that's okay. Matt Black, I'm based in London, but I'm an Australian. I spent a lot of years in Silicon Valley. I'm the principal, the lead investor on a small fund that we have here in London. We're opening up another fund in the US shortly, and we've got a joint venture happening in Africa. But I also have some really good partners in India, actually, that do a lot of investment down there, like just over 2 billion in the last few years. So I've got a really deep interest in the Indian market. So really looking at great little tech companies that are doing something a bit different and that need some support, whether it be some funding or a few tips of advice to stand out from the crowd.
Thank you so much, Matt. And also, I would like to invite David Penn to join us from Berlin. Please, David, if you can also make intro about yourself.
Yeah, hey everyone, great to be here. So my name's David. I am a corporate lawyer, but on top of that, I started two startups, with the latest one, which I sold actually at the end of last year. So very fresh. So nowadays I spend most of my time actually making investments in companies myself, specifically focusing on hardware. And I also still provide legal services, mostly to early stage companies wanting to or that are operating in the US.
Thank you so much for your intro, David. And now we are ready to start. We have the first startup pitch presentation managed by our first startup founder, Sabayashi. Please, if you can join us and share your screen to start presenting.
Sure. Thanks, Slava. Yeah. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Sabyasachi Sahu. We are Guardian Angel, and we are committed to erase darkness of stigma and save lives for youth. Our status quo is better mind, better you, and better future. We'll start with Olivia's story. Olivia is a brilliant student, but one day she decides to end her life. She was suffering from depression and struggling alone, and she could not ask for help to anyone. She had the same problem most of us do: fear of judgment. When I was speaking to university students and I asked them, hey, do you think mental health is a critical problem for youth? They said yes. And then I asked them, okay, why do you think so? Then they start talking about their personal experience, their friend experiences. My reaction to that was that why you guys are not reaching out to the support system provided by universities and colleges. There are well-being centers, psychologists, many help. And the answer to that was this. Then they do not want to ask for help. They're not sure about the help. They feel that they are being judged negatively and no one knows their pain. And sometimes that leads to critical incident like stigma, like suicides. There is a big gap, stigma. And problem is one to too many. Here is our solution. Please meet Guardian Angel. At the very left-hand side, you see it's a proactive companion available 24/7. It triggers alarm if you have any mental health risk. Based on your personality, whether you are an introvert or extrovert, whether you like to listen to music or you are a fitness freak person. It provides you personalized guidance and mental health insights. And also at the same time, it provides access for immediate help. Now the question is, what is the secret sauce? If I ask you that when you encounter any personal problem or challenges, whom you reach out to and go and speak to, the most common answer would be a trusted, a loyal friend whom I can share my problem. And that's what the guardian angel is all about. It is acting as a guiding light, a loyal and trustworthy friend, continuously fostering open conversations, raising awareness. Through emotion detection, it is trying to find if you have any mental health risk and preventing any serious incidents. Mental health is not a one-time thing. It's a part of lifestyle, and it is helping you keep track of your mental well-being and mental health. And the fourth point I have already talked about, the personalized guidance that is tailored to the user needs. Market validation. We see there is a significant percentage of stigma across the geographies. Our business model is scalable. It's free to sign up for basic features, and we will be generating revenue through advertisement. There is a pay-as-you-go model for premium features and 10% fee for psychologist booking. Here is our revenue growth for next 5 years. We do have a customer acquisition strategy. Now we are speaking to 6 universities in UK and India. Though our business model is B2C, strategically, we are trying to B2B partnership with university colleges so that we can acquire thousands of students, users at one go. We are building partnerships with NGOs and mental health organizations and students organizations. We are anticipating an organic growth. We do have product and service development roadmap, and we are building strategic partnerships. Here is the team experience. We have technology, psychology, and sales experience in our team who can build robust and solid product and create a distribution channel for market capture. And here is our ask. We are asking for 250K GBP in 12 months period to build a product. And use of funds will be spread across in different segments: technology, market research, marketing, team, and legal. Here I stop. And thank you, Elegant TV, for giving us this opportunity. I request for your feedback.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Now we would ask our judges to join and give the feedback to the presentation. So I would ask maybe Matt to start, if you can give some initial feedback, and then please the following judges carry on.
Okay, so this is like the third almost identical pitch I've seen within the last month, and I'm not even in the health and well-being sector. So there's a lot of competition in this space. You should be aware of that as a founder getting into it. I don't actually see a USP. I would like to hear, potentially you develop the idea that there's some really good psychological, I know you've got some psychologists on your team, getting those psychologists to certify somehow that your AI is proficient as a replacement at some level of intervention. Just saying it out loud is not enough. You'd want some kind of certification, some kind of proof that this actually has value, the AI. It's the only IP I think you've got there. The UI is poor, I'll be honest, from my opinion. And the valuation, $10 million as pre-MVP, that sounds like a lot. You know, to be honest, you haven't got any market traction. You've indicated you're saying you're developing relationships. So I think it's overvalued. I think the UI needs work. And I think your IP is really understated at this point. I'd need a lot tougher, validation before I were to invest anything into this particular app.
Thank you so much, Matt, for your feedback. I would like to ask Elif to join us and also give the feedback about the startup pitch presentation. Please, your time.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, obviously, it's a very high competitive market. That's why in these stages, especially in pre-seed and pre-product startups, I always advise to start with your background and your story, why you are trying to solve this problem, which have been tried before by many companies and also many others. What will be your first, because I believe that your first competitive edge should be about yourself and your background and why you decided to solve this problem. Maybe this can give the audience that are listening to your pitch at this stage a better understanding about you and your capabilities and to solve this problem. And also, yeah, there are so many things to say about the market, about the B2C model, which is very, very difficult and needs a lot of funds to be raised actually to acquire users. And on the other hand, just to give out like 2.5% of equity in these rounds, it's not very, very common, I can say. It's a very low amount of equity to give out actually in this stage as well. People, especially if you are pitching to VCs, they would need to see like around 10% to 15% in these stages. So these are all my comments for now.
Thank you so much, Elif, for your feedback. And I would like to invite David Graham, please, if you can also share your thoughts on the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything that Matt or Edith said. I think, at this stage, in my opinion, VCs aren't even going to be looking at you. So how do you make it attractive to a bunch of angel investors at that valuation, especially when, and the one thing I would say to all startups is you're trying to take me on a journey here. A deck and a presentation is not going to sell your company. It's going to, you're essentially asking the question, can we have a call? And you can walk through all the elements that Matt was asking about and Edith was asking about earlier. Beside that, I would say the other thing I'm looking for as an angel investor is, what does the journey look like for my investment? So, to a low percentage and high valuation at this round, you're going to need more money. When you get more money, how much do I dilute at that point, et cetera, et cetera. So what are the milestones? And add to that, well, what does success look like at the end of that runway, so that I've got some confidence that I'm not throwing money down a deep dark hole at this point. But quick summation is, I think it's overvalued. You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with that valuation with no traction or very, very, very little signs of traction at this stage. And you're going to be looking at angels, and they're going to want a far bigger stake than that to be interested. Would be my comment.
Thank you so much, David, for your feedback. It was feedback to our first startup pitch presentation. Ivan, so now we would like to invite our second founder of his second startup pitch presentation, Lalit. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. If you can also share your screen, and
Sure.
You're ready to start.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for this wonderful opportunity to pitch what we have been passionately building for the last 3 years in front of esteemed judges that we have here. So I represent God's own child, and the motto behind our startup is embracing diversity and empowering lives. Here we are talking about a very, very important aspect, which is a growing challenge globally at this moment, and that is neurodiversity or autism. So, primarily when we are building at India, I'm presenting the Indian data at this moment, wherein at India, currently 1 in 65 children within the age group of 2 to 9 are identified with certain symptoms of autism, which is pegging the figures to around 2 crore individuals in India alone. So annually, there's around 5 lakh kids are getting added to this group only in India. And India being a severely underdiagnosed market at this moment, we peg this figure to be even larger. So if we add up all the products and services which this particular group is using globally, we peg this market size to be around 45 billion by 2025, that is the current year, and the Indian market size is around 7 billion USD annually at the moment. So if we have to develop something which actually helps this particular community, so we wanted to understand what is the pain area for this community, and we wanted to devise a solution which is around the neurodiverse individual. And to do that, we understood that we have to bring everybody together. So we have done an extensive market research on this, wherein we have spoken to 200 plus role holders within this community, which comprised the parents or the caregivers and the professionals, as well as the business institutions who are giving services to this particular community. And this is all figured around that particular individual. How do we actually support them in their life journey? So that's the solution that we have been working for. And frankly, like why we have come to this solution is, like, back in 2016, we have been parents of an autistic child. That was the time wherein we realized that our son is diagnosed with autism. So when we started walking this journey, we understood there's a lot of problem in this area, wherein people do not understand what to do, where to go, and where the information we can get to help support the life journey that we have, because a lot of miscommunication is flowing around in the market. So working around this, we have devised a solution which is not a single point thing which can actually help an individual, but that is around all the requirements of the community, which would be able to support this life journey that they have. So the solution that we have devised, which is around parents, institutions, and professionals who are working in the field, to bring them all into one particular place. And this is working around 3 pillars, that is content, commerce, and community. Under content, we have a knowledge base, wherein this knowledge base is not something which is very scientific. This is something very easy to understand and digest by parents who are walking this journey. And this is community generated knowledge base, which is again weighted by other professionals. We have products and services also, wherein incidentally, being in India, that was the first project that we took up, that was special need products. So we are in-house manufacturing products. We have more than 65 SKUs which we are in-house manufacturing. Those products have already been tested, and we have been supplying to special need schools as a test basis. And we have also did some B2B orders. So, but then along with that, we want to have a approach wherein whatever products they need would be available in the same app or the web application. So we are also integrating other product suppliers into our platform itself. Then we have an online evaluation and therapy system, wherein people who can walk into a particular place and get themselves evaluated, that is possible. Otherwise, they can go for early evaluation on our platform. So we are integrating all this solution as one single digital ecosystem, which would not only help in diagnosis, but also once the diagnosis is done, it would be able to help them support the entire life journey of an autistic individual. So when we are talking about the ecosystem, we have a roadmap in front of us. So we are talking about various solutions here. So we want to integrate these solutions one by one. These are not going to come all at one together. And we are taking this as a community building approach. So we are starting this with a knowledge base, and we are going to integrate learning solutions there. With that, we would be following up with special need products, events, and workshops for parents to empower them to lead this, take care of the challenge that they have in their life. Add online evaluations to that, as well as business listings. What I mean by business listing is, suppose somebody is looking for a professional at a particular area, so they do not know who are the professionals who are working there, what feedback they have, what other parents are saying about them. So they would be able to search the business listings, and they can either book a one-to-one video meeting with them, or they can take an in-person meeting with them. So we are going to also follow it up with the SaaS solutions, wherein those businesses which are listed with us, they will be able to handle their businesses, like their evaluations, their students that they have on our application itself. So that is how they are going to integrate into the system and stay here. So we have a D2C business model, as well as B2B and B2B2C business model. So various business model, various revenue models would be integrated into this space. And while we are building this, like as I said, we have actually started this around 2.5 years back, when we are developing the entire tech solutions in-house. So it is completely ready. Our tech solution is completely ready with the first set of solutions to go live in the market. So we are getting into the market next month, which is matching with the Autism Awareness Week that is there in April. So that is the time that we have chosen to go live. We have been building in India, but then our tech solutions has been integrated in such a way that we would be able to serve the global market also slowly from here. So incidentally, just to talk a little bit of our products, so that's going to be one of the binding things and USPs of us. Like, we are not only dependent on products which are sourced from outside, but we are also in-house manufacturing products. So incidentally, in India at this moment, I believe we are a single solution in which the largest range of special need products we are manufacturing in-house, which are already there in the market, and we are getting very good feedback about them. Talking a little bit about the competition landscape. So we believe these are the competition that we have been following up very closely on what they are doing on the exactly the same space. We see there's a lot of people who are working on the community building space. Some people are working on the knowledge and awareness space. Some people are working on the e-commerce space, while there's another set which is working on the diagnostic space. However, there is no single entity which is actually putting all the dots together and able to solve the entire life journey at one particular place. And that is where we are coming in. And the way we see ourselves, and when we name these as competitions, we do not actually see them as a competition. Like, we are building a tech solution in such a way that we would be able to integrate the solutions which these companies offer also on our platform. So we are more of a community building approach that we are taking, wherein if somebody is working on some other products which may be beneficial for the community that we are working in, so we would be able to launch their solutions also into our product. So we see ourselves as building the largest neurodiverse community across the globe, wherein all the products and services which are coming up across anywhere would be able to integrate into our platform. So this is just a brief about the revenue streams that we have, wherein we have designed this to be launched phase-wise, wherein we have different elements into the app or application, wherein it would be able to generate revenues for us. So starting from subscription-based knowledge, special need products, which would be having a different distribution ways, which is directly from the website, as well as B2B2C model also. Evaluating and therapeutic marketplace, we would be doing it as a marketplace, wherein we would be onboarding professionals here who would be able to give their services on our application. We have a health forum services, SaaS SaaS-based application is also there, and we would be having webinars and subscriptions for different parent empowerment programs. So that is how we are looking at our revenue streams. So talking about our projections a little bit, like as I said, we have already worked a lot of, we have done a lot of homework, and also we have developed the tech which is ready to launch. So this revenue stream that we are talking about, this is post capital infusion. So this is for the first year that we are talking about. And sorry, but my figures are mostly in Indian rupee. In talking about the three major pillars which would be revenue generating for us, that is the content, commerce, and community. Putting all these three together, in the first year we want to end it at a top line of 70 lakhs monthly on the 12th month, and by the end of 5 years we have a target of reaching a top line of 30 million USD, which is roughly 250 crore INR. That's the projection that we have. And our ask at this moment is not really very big. So talking about Indian rupee, we have a 2 crore INR ask, or a 0.25 million USD. That's what we want to take up. So we are raising this amount for a 18-month runway only, wherein we have a very clear defined milestones which we want to catch up before we raise the next round at a much higher valuation. That's the plan that we have. So that's all from my side, and happy to take the questions.
Thank you so much, Lalit, for your presentation. Now it will be the feedback from our judges. I would like to ask Tiago to join us and share your feedback on the pitch presentation, please.
Well, first of all, congratulations for your presentation. You really show that you are the right person to solve the problem, because you have a child with this. You know the problem, you know the challenges, and what could be done to solve it. So this is a very good, very positive point for you. But in the other hand, it looks like, I'm not an expert in this area, health techs or this kind of things, but it looks like the competition is still very high. And I think that starting and creating the community is a very good way to start, is a good way that you can get traction, validate your idea. But at some point, you need to create something really scalable, which I don't see in your presentation with technology base, because otherwise it will be really hard to get private investment, especially the private investment. I speak for myself. I mean, in our group of investors, we don't invest in companies that does not show technology base, basically. It's not a really problem, especially if you accept that you won't become a unicorn with that, and that you need to bootstrap a lot in the beginning, or maybe count with some prizes from governmental programs or initiatives that are often looking for initiatives like this. But yeah, I think if you are really passionate about solving this problem, you should continue, but you need to look for something really scalable, and start looking for creating some technology involving this, and start looking for some kind of maybe sub-niche, like a niche inside the niche, to differentiate for from your competition, and try to leave this red ocean that you have, and try to navigate in a blue oceans. That would be my feedback.
Thank you so much, Tiago, for your feedback for our second presentation. Now I would like to join Alex to give your feedback and your thoughts on the presentation as well.
In my country, we have a proverb: if you try to chase after two rabbits, you would get none. And my impression is that you are trying to cover many business models at once with your community, with your products, with your advice. I would suggest focusing, at least initially, as you've mentioned yourself, on the most profitable product, and then seeing if you can scale it into the future. Also, in your presentation, I felt there were quite a few points where you could have added more numbers or statistics for emphasis. For example, when you talk about the problems faced by your target consumers. Also, which was already briefly mentioned, when you talk about your competition, I personally would have loved you to focus much more on the feature comparison, as well as other things like, for example, fundraising amounts or target customer bases and many other aspects, because in your current form, the competitor analysis does not really go into much detail.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for your feedback. And I would like to ask David Peng to join us and also give the feedback to the presentation. David, please.
Yeah, so I'm quite torn on this one because I think I really loved about the first 50% of your presentation. You came in with messaging that I think resonated with anyone with a heart, which is, neurodivergent children. And then you showed a huge opportunity. I think you said 40 or $45 billion. And then you sort of tied it in with a very personal passion of yours. You said that your parents of a neurodivergent child is a problem you personally face. And so, here I see a huge opportunity and founders who personally suffer from this problem. And, I think the most relentless people to solve issues are parents solving things for their children. So at that point, you really had me, and I would have written you a check for whatever. But then you pretty much immediately lost me after that when you started talking about your solution. And to be honest, I have no idea what it is that you're building, because you talked about e-commerce, you talked about onboarding experts, you talked about something to do with community events, and you're simply doing too much. If you had said everything you had at the start about how you want to help neurodivergent children because you're a parent, you face a problem, and therefore you are going to build the most optimized e-commerce store that provides toys for children to help them navigate the world, that would have been a killer pitch. Because I think that the best businesses, especially at the very start, focus on one thing and optimize for that specifically. And it would have been better to see you focus on doing one thing well than trying to do everything. Because what's going to happen is you're just going to spread yourself too thin with your team of 8 or 10 or whatever it was. And you're going to be caught in way too many issues. I mean, with building products, you have issues with distribution, with logistics, with scaling, and then you want to build some kind of platform. Then you have issues with infrastructure, with event management, with onboarding experts and all of these. So you're just creating a bunch of issues. And if I were to give you that money, I just feel like it would be sunk into trying to fix all of these things before you can even start. And then when you highlighted your revenue streams, I think it's really the same problem. I think you had like 9 or 10 different revenue streams. And again, each kind of revenue stream has its own demands and methods of optimization. And I just think that you simply do not have the manpower to be able to work on all of those. So yeah, my main advice is really just to hyper optimize on one or a very limited number of things. Because I think what was missing in your pitch was the distribution. The hardest part of growing any business is distribution. And so I would have liked to see how you actually plan to get whatever it is you're building out to that $45 billion market. Because just because you build something, it does not mean people will flock to you. And I have no idea how you're going to get 40 different tools out there.
So we're moving on, and our next pitch presentation will be delivered by Srirak. So Srirak, if you can join us as well and share your screen.
So, hi guys, before I introduce myself, let me share a quick story with you guys. So in 2023, I graduated, and after my graduation, I was like any other job seeker. I really wanted to land my dream job. And for that, I started out by preparing my resume and hopped onto LinkedIn and applied to a few jobs out there. But to my surprise, I didn't get any of those responses. I waited for hours turned to days turned to weeks, nothing. I grew desperate and I started to apply multiple jobs out there, created multiple resumes. And yes, eventually I did get 1 or 2 interviews, but I couldn't crack any of them. In fact, I was out in the first 2 rounds itself because I was fresh to this. Sad, but determined, I started to polish my skills. I subscribed to multiple job platforms out there, job preparation platforms out there, subscribed to multiple resume building websites out there. And after 1 year of hardships and grinding, I landed my dream job. But the struggles that I faced all during this 1 year stayed with me. Deep down, I knew there had to be a better way. And my name is Srirak Menon, and I'm CTO of NeuraCV. We are an AI-supported, affordable resume building platform that helps job seekers out there like me find their dream jobs much faster and easier. So let's see about John Sebastian here. He's a highly skilled professional and he's looking for a job out there. In the current market scenario, he might be able to get a job by applying 10 to 15 jobs out there on an average. And he spends hours tweaking his resume, adding those correct keywords that can get past these ATS systems. This is where NeuraCV steps in. Using our live designer, he can create a resume much faster. In fact, in a matter of seconds. Using our AI system, he does not have to worry about these ATS keywords because it is auto-generated. Also, he can prepare for interviews and prepare for all those questions a job recruiter might throw him based on his resume or based on his job role. One of those difficulties which I faced during my search for a job was a personal portfolio, and I created one taking much time of my life. But then it got outdated once my resume was updated. In NeuraCV, we provide a feature called as free personal portfolio, where you just create a resume and we automatically create the portfolio for you. And don't worry about updating this portfolio because just update your resume and it will be automatically updated as well. Also, we don't want to just stick onto the resume building platform. We allow job recruiters out there to enter their job posts in this and prepare interview links through which job seekers can apply and attend those interviews as well. We also provide job recruiters a portfolio or a portal to register their services like personal resume review, one-on-one coaching, etc., which in turn will help the job seekers out there to land their dream job much faster. Also, we do provide features like JD to resume converter. Just copy and paste the job description, and we will automatically generate a resume based on this job description. And also cover letter, a free automatic cover letter, and free ATS code checker and editor. So why we matter? So we conducted an earlier review of our customers, and we understood that these customers receive 2x more calls compared to before, and almost 50% of them acquiring an interview call. So it proves that NeuraCV doesn't just promise, it provides. Our key market audience involves students, aspiring ones, dreaming about their dream jobs, and professionals who are looking to elevate their skills and elevating their career as well. Also, universities and colleges who are looking to boost their placements. Our go-to-go marketing strategies involve social media marketing, college-university partnerships, and a strong referral program, which is already proving work. This is from one of our demo classes at an institution where we received a huge positive response from them. So where do we stand out? We know there are a lot of resume building applications out there. So what makes us different? Compared to our competitor like JobScan, they do provide features that I mentioned before, like job description to resume, but they are really expensive compared to the pricing plan that we have structured right now. Resume.io, on the other hand, provides basic features but are affordable. All other platforms are really expensive and provides just basic features compared to our pricing plans and our features. Right now, NeuraCV in a comprehensive way provides all those features in less amount of pricing plans. Like in UK market right now, we are providing just $15 for a subscription of 2 months. And in Indian market, it's around 200 rupees. So how we generate our revenue? Currently, we are on a soft launch and we follow a freemium model where we acquire signups. And these signups, we saw that these signups are automatically converted to subscriptions using a B2C structure. And in a B2B model, we approach colleges, universities, local universities as well. And we approach them and they purchase our product as a bulk so that they can get out huge placements as well. So this is our team. We are a small team of 3 members. Vivek KV, our founder and CEO, and I'm the CTO, and Shanti Binoy is the CMO of our company right now. Also, this is our first pitch ever after our soft launch, and forgive me for any of those mistakes that I've done. So I'm up for any of those questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Now is time for feedback from our judges, and I would like to ask Elif to join us and give your feedback to the presentation, please.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, you don't need to apologize. It was a well-structured pitching for first-time pitcher, I can say. I like the idea. I like the that you put the definition of your startup or your product in the first slide. It gives the audience an idea about what you're gonna talk about, and which is good. I will give you a few feedbacks about your team slide. First of all, in the earlier stages, the most important part of your pitch is the team. Why you are the best team to solve the problem that you are aiming to solve. That's why just instead of mentioning only the titles or who you are or your names only, just put some logos or that about your backgrounds. How do you know each other even, and why you team up to solve this problem? What are your backgrounds and your competitive edge actually in this sense? And just always put something at the end of your slides about what is your ask to the audience. I know this is like a mentorship session, but if you are planning to fundraise, you need to mention how much you are planning to raise, how you're gonna use it, and what is the stage of the product and the next stage that you will achieve after you raise this fund.
Thank you so much, Elif, for your feedback. And I would like to ask Matt to join us and also give the feedback for the pitch presentation, please.
Hi, yeah, just as the previous judge said, there's really not a lot of information to decide on whether or not this is an interesting business or not. But I do appreciate, and I have space for people that want to just generate a bit of interest and have investors ask questions. I like the progress. I like seeing those kind of crowds of people. I would be worried about the other side of the coin, the employer side. There was no mention of how you were going to engage them in any way, if there was any monetization in there, or there was any channel partners like large job sites, if there was a potential route to market to sell to them for resume customization on their site. So you see the job advert, you then produce a customized letter to go to them based on that. That's actually probably a really big win, and I haven't seen anybody do that. So you could probably pivot your technology to that. It would be a really good call, and you'd get away from a lot of the competition, which is just trying to do the same thing. I've seen a lot of people trying to do the same thing. So maybe you think about that pivot. But yeah, like the previous judge said, I haven't got an ask. I don't know what you're doing next. I don't know what traction you got so far. So it's really impossible as an investor to say anything more.
Thank you so much, Matt, and David Graham, if you can join us and also give your feedback, please.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I quite liked it. I appreciate that it is a big problem. I know with a lot of those AI filters now, the right people getting to the right jobs becoming more and more difficult. I mean, one would argue that the feedback on LinkedIn is that it's almost pointless trying to apply for a job on LinkedIn these days, because I think, to your point, everyone sort of built that filter-friendly CV. I'm sort of a bit with obviously I'm a bit with the other judges. I don't quite know what the ask is, where it's sort of going, but I like the problem. I can't even talk even to the competition. I think it would have been better to see a matrix in terms of what's the differentiator to the competitors. But personally, I think there's something in that, something worth exploring. I mean, my feel is again, I might be controversial. The thing that people don't like about consumer is how do you prove the demand? my sense is that when one is looking for a job, you will pretty much buy anything to put you ahead of everything else. So, I very rarely advocate for a B2C in a marketplace, but it's one worth exploring, and one I think that you could get quite a lot of, or prove quite a lot of traction on relatively cheaply. I think trying to find job seekers isn't the hardest thing out there with a couple of well-placed ads. And then from a B2B play, to Matt's point about where do you sell this in a business market, I think it's obvious to me that businesses no longer want to pay a 20 to 25% recruitment fee. So if there is a platform that can do this on a SaaS model that is effectively, to Matt's point, maybe there's even like a pivot to seeing who's using these tools to upgrade their CV. I don't know. I suspect the CV won't be. My only concern is I suspect the CVs won't be the long-term play moving forward. I think we will move into far more content-rich solutions in finding the right people for jobs going forward. But while that might take a while, while that exists, I think there is a place for something like this. So tweak a couple of those things, and you could be in a good place.
Thank you so much, David, for your feedback. It was our feedback from judges, and we are moving on. We are ready to watch our next startup presentation. So Vishnu, if you can join us and share your screen, please.
So hi everyone, I'm Vishnu from Aasan Will, which literally means easy will in Hindi. Around 6 years ago, I lost my uncle without a will and testament in India while I was doing my MBA at London Business School. And that's when I realized how much of a nightmare the process can get in India when you don't have a will in place, when you don't have a clearly documented list of your assets in place. And right now, I'm pleased to inform you that we are the biggest brand in the country when it comes to succession planning, helping Indians residing in India, as well as Indian diaspora that have connections to India, usually either through assets here or parents here. So the big problem statement here is wealth transfer infrastructure in India is broken. Over 12 million inheritance court cases currently and counting. Over $60 billion worth of wealth lying unclaimed across life insurance policies, mutual funds, bank deposits, shares, etc. And obviously, India is the 5th largest economy now, and it's growing. So you can only anticipate that a huge intergenerational wealth transfer is going to happen in the next decade or so. One of the other reasons why this is broken is there's a huge lack of awareness in the country compared to the West. Over 95% Indians do not have a succession plan in place. And there's confusion around legal heir and nominee. Currently, the process is stuck in the 18th century, so it's still quite time consuming. A lot of stakeholders. It's high friction prone. And of course, massive price transparency issues, because depending on which lawyer you go to, you'll get a price based on how wealthy you are. So what we've done is, in a nutshell, we've built a product that is 10 times cheaper, better, faster. So as simple as that, and hence the name Aasan Will. So we've taken a current offline process which takes around 500 active minutes. We've reduced that to 30 minutes. And eventually you will get a piece of document, which is on the right-hand side, as you can see, which is a physical document that is registered at a registration office in the country. So this is actually my will. And by the way, India follows UK's common law. So we had originally started this in the UK, and then we moved to India. And now we're helping thousands of Indians all over the country. We've got an excellent partnership network offline, pan-India, and as I mentioned, customers, the classic Indian customer that has earned wealth through education. So that's how we define our target audience. So anybody who's making Lakshmi through Saraswati, that is the segment that Asan will wants to serve. Just to give you a little glimpse of some real faces, real customers. So you can see it's senior citizens with their children, it's professionals, IT professionals, principals of schools, all of them in their 40s, 50s, 60s and above, men and women. The inheritance laws are slightly disadvantaging women in the country. We'll look at it right now. So on the left-hand side, if a Hindu married man dies without a will, the father gets absolutely nothing unless there is a will in place, because the father is not counted in the first hierarchy or class 1 legal heirs. On the other hand, for the case of a Hindu woman, it's even more atrocious. Both her parents get nothing. The minute a woman gets married, she's deemed to belong to the husband's household. I did a little bit of digging. This comes from the 18th century British Act, which in turn is inspired by the 10th commandment of Moses. So if you know your 10 commandments, the last commandment essentially says, thou shalt not covet another man's house, ox, cattle, and woman. So these laws obviously are archaic, antiquated. They don't have a place in modern society where men and women are equal. And therefore, there's a huge importance around succession planning for working women of India. NRIs, I've mentioned, there's a problem typically, and I'm sure you'll know friends, the children are living abroad, let's say even in London, father is in India, has a couple of assets, father dies without a will, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare for the child who's living abroad, because they'll have to come run across various government bodies, banks, etc., in order to claim what is rightfully theirs. So having an Asan will or a will in place makes life easy. Current laws are not necessarily catering to millions of Indians. So LGBTQ in India don't have marital rights. India's social economic fabric is changing. There's more and more cohabiting couples, sandwich generations, diaspora, etc. So all of them, it's better to have a stitch in time that saves 9 in the future. Huge market. I'm just showing you like some of our beachheads. We go after homeowners, mutual fund investors, pet owners. Again, you want to appoint a legal guardian for your pet. IT employees, it's a sweet spot for us, and so on and so forth. We've got numerous revenue lines. Our first-time transaction fee for a registered will, including all the government fees, etc., is approximately £200. We also have an annual subscription fee. We offer executorship as a service and several other upsell and cross-sell products. So this is the Indian market. It's massive. As you can see, we are going after the baby boomers, Gen X and millennials who have the assets, who are building wealth, but unfortunately, they're not contemplating their own mortality. And unfortunately, that's a shared reality that we all have in common. We've built the best product, as I mentioned, in the market. It makes life super easy. You get through 95% of the journey online, and it's just the last 5% that we help you offline at every nook and corner in the country to get your will either notarized or registered. And that's what gives you like the maximum amount of comfort as a customer. We've got a lawyer dashboard. This is how we're able to handle the volume. We use AI, we use technology to augment, but we don't replace human beings, and especially the wisdom and judgment of lawyers. Delighted to inform you that we are the largest brand today. We've got customers all over the country, over 25,000 of them. I'm happy to inform you that we won Tim Draper's Shark Tank. Tim is an investor in several of Elon Musk's companies. We own this space on social media when it comes to succession planning. Huge list of partnerships to distribute our product, whether it's B2B as an employee benefit to all the tech companies. As you can imagine, we are in India, we are based in Hyderabad, so all of the big Microsofts, Googles, Tech Mahindras, etc. Of course, we've partnered with fintechs, companies that are doing wealth creation and wealth management. Guess what? We embed ourselves as the wealth transfer partner. We're backed by Techstars. We've gone through London Business School, my alma mater's incubator, T-Hub, which is one of the world's largest accelerator programs as well. Delighted to inform you that we won FinTech Startup of the Year in India in December 2024 out of 1,400 companies. Again, it's the first time a company in wealth transfer won FinTech Startup of the Year, which underscores the growing importance of wealth transfer. One of our investors is Times of India, and we take out massive print ads all over the country in multiple languages to essentially spread the awareness around the importance of how an asset portfolio might become worthless if you don't have a will in place, how you can leave families suffering with unclaimed assets and disputes. We're backed by an incredible set of investors. Some of them are the who's who of Europe, UK, and even Indian CXOs, unicorn founders, etc. Most importantly, they all share the passion for equality when it comes to inheritance laws. Solid team that understands technology, law, and fintech. Prior to this, I was head of product at Wonga, UK's first fintech unicorn. Before that, I started my career with Bain. I'm originally from India, did my undergrad at BITS, then got a graduate degree at Cambridge in nanotechnology and did my MBA at LBS, which is where I started the company. So by now, you'd probably imagine that we are already building a company that is more than wills. We understand everything about an individual. Wills obviously enables us to collect that kind of information, which positions us in a phenomenal way in order to offer several other products throughout the customer's life cycle. So it could be personal net worth tracking or estate settlement and so on and so forth. Right now, we're laser focused on wills and trusts so that we can help create our niche and own the brand category. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Very happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Now we would like to ask Tiago for the first feedback. Tiago, if you can join us and share your thoughts on the presentation.
Thank you, Vishnu, for your presentation. I personally see a lot of potential in your solution, especially because my background is legal tax, and I work a lot with companies that try to solve a problem that is connected with the legal world, with lawyers, with things that lawyers could do, or people that or help them to find a lawyer, or maybe eliminate the process of hiring a lawyer, which sometimes is a little difficult. There is a lot of potential. You should know that, especially in Portugal, there's a lot of immigrants coming to Portugal, and they need help to establishing a will. I have a lot of American clients that are coming from the United States, and they have this problem on how I will establish a will in Portugal. There's the language barrier, there's the different jurisdictions problems in terms of the laws and these kind of things. I really like the thing that you mentioned about the crypto assets. It's a very cool feature. I think you also can explore the things about make this broader to other electronic assets like accounts, like in Facebook, Instagram, these kind of things. This is another topic that is very good to be explored, and I think there's also a good potential for that. In terms of presentation, I'm just missed in your presentation some kind of EU market number. If you could introduce like some kind of European Union numbers in terms of the potential of the market for your solution. But I see the potential anyway, but I think you should show these numbers in your presentation, okay? I also have some recommendations for you in terms of when you're using examples, when you are storytelling inside your pitch. Try to give information that could connect with the judge personally. This would help you to earn some extra points in terms of getting the attention of the audience, of the people that are watching your presentation. And this is also something that you can improve in the future. Another thing that I would recommend you to do is try to highlight and be very clear on why you chose this problem to be solved, why you chose this, and why you are the right person to do it. I also missed this in your presentation, but overall, I want to congratulate you because it's a very good solution.
Thank you so much, Tiago. Now we would ask Alex to join us and also give the feedback. Alex, please.
Great. So first of all, we were asked not to comment on traction, but I'd just love to say that what really stands you apart is the amount of progress that you have made so far, both in terms of fundraising and actual market traction. So what I would advise you to do is, first of all, since the whole point of presentation is to spin your story, is to talk a bit more about your customer base. So, for example, when you give pictures of your previous customers, maybe talk a bit more about, their own personal stories, the problems that you've helped them to fix. And when you talk about your traction with partnerships, with networks that you've built up with, for example, the wealth management institutions, maybe talk about the 2 or 3 key ones and then give slightly more detail as to how developed this relationship actually is. So how long you worked with each other, what kind of solutions did you manage to bring to them, and similar aspects. Other than that, would have loved to see more details about your team, not just your own personal background, and to hear much more about the problems faced by not the Indian people within the country, but also the diaspora, right? Because they do face slightly different problems. They're able to pay different sums of money for your product, and you do need to specify that because obviously, the market is big and it's growing, and the diaspora is huge across the world, but it's not a monolith, right? So do distinguish between the different sections within it.
Thank you so much, Alex, for your feedback. Yes, if you can also ask David Tang to join us and also give the feedback on the pitch presentation. So David, please.
Yeah, it was a great pitch. Actually, I really liked it. And I won't add too much in terms of the pitch, but actually when I first started working as a lawyer, I was actually interning at a very large international law firm. And one of the things I did was build a will kit because this is actually a huge problem. And I know for a fact, at least back in 2015, when I started working, that a lot of large law firms, when they were looking to digitalize a lot of their products, that they were actually building something like this, because wills and estates is, as you know, a very complicated area, but a lot of the structure can be automated. So that was something that we were doing at the time. And what we had found was that typically there are 3 classes of people looking for wills, especially those who engage in lawyers. I mean, the first one is, I guess, sort of at the bottom, where it's just very simple, basic will with straightforward assets and just a small list or very clearly identified beneficiaries. For those wills, it really only took maximum 1 hour, if that, of work from a lawyer. And then there was sort of this middle tier where there were a lot of different assets. There was a guardianship set up, as well as some kind of trust set up that really required at least a meeting with the client to break down the different classes of assets, who gets what. And that took a few days. That would obviously take a few days to draft. And then we had the very, very complex. And this is involving complex estates, business ownerships, international assets, various tax planning, blended families. And that was what took the longest. But that, as a law firm, that was the client that we were after, because that was what generated the most money. And what we had found at the time was that automating any part of the will process only appealed to that bottom class. So the people that had just very basic assets and only a few but clearly identifiable beneficiaries. But when we tried to roll something automated out to the, let's say, the high value or the high net worth clients, they wouldn't really go for it because, one, I think they didn't care for that kind of automation or didn't really see a need to go through that when they could just pay a lawyer. And I think the second part of it is that where the value lies for legal services is not the actual work itself, but it's the degree of comfort you get from having a qualified expert tell you that this is okay. And when it's matters concerning your own assets, I think that there's a lot of value in paying someone however much it is to say, I approve this document that protects your assets in case you die. I don't know what you want to do with that, but that was just the experience that we had when we tried to automate a will kit. That will kit actually still exists, so you can still actually go on the website. And I'm sure there's a lot of law firms that have that. But what we found at the time was it doesn't actually capture a lot of value. I'm sure that it is different in the Indian market, where you have, as you said, I can't remember the number, but billions of people who need the service. But where I was building it at the time, which was Australia, the market was just simply too small. The other thing that I wasn't sure about was who the service was for. So you focused a lot on India. And I wasn't sure if this was just for people with assets in India or people who primarily want to set up a will for what happens in India, or if this was somehow going to then translate to, Americans or Germans or French people. I mean, if the former, where it's just for India, then I think it's a fantastic solution. But if it was intended to translate to different countries or where multiple jurisdictions come into play, I guess I would have liked to see how you balance the different regulations and laws when it comes to wills and estates. But otherwise, I thought it was actually really
At the moment, we're laser focused on India. As a small company, we just want to make sure we conquer this market. And as you know, it's huge.
Thank you so much, Vishnu, for your presentation, and I believe you can follow up and talk to our judges later on. So we're moving on, and our next presentation goes from Abid. Abid, if you can join us, share your screen and start your presentation.
So thanks everyone. I'm the founder of Zero Carbon Cement. We are the world's first zero carbon clinker and cement company. We have a unique, innovative patent pending process. We have our prototypes built in the lab. We have tested it. We have validated it. We are currently in the process of putting up a 1 TPD plant in southern India, North Karnataka, South Maharashtra. So as you know, cement is one of the most pollutive industries in the world. World produces and consumes about 4.1 billion tons of it every year. And 86% of the carbon emissions that comes from clinker comes from calcination and clinkerization process. Clinker is essentially a raw material that goes into making cement. The way clinker is produced is by combining quicklime and calcinated clay. Both have to be to some extent mined. 70% of the cement volume is made up of clinker. It's a $50 billion market in India. Globally, it's a $400 billion market. We have two technologies. One is the solar kiln, where we have the patent. And we use algae bioreactor to essentially absorb the CO2 emissions, making the entire process carbon neutral. Again, we have tested it. We have validated it. We are working with a few institutions to further validate the technology, and we are currently in the process of raising some money, initial money. We have raised a little bit of money from BITS Pilani. As you know, it's the Birla family. It's connected with Birlas, and we are also through BITS Pilani Accelerator. We are looking to get in touch with a few Ultratech cement executives. Ultratech Cement in India is the biggest cement manufacturer in the country. This is our process. We are able to achieve high temperatures through our solar kiln, 900 to 3000 degrees. We have a extensive process patent on this, and we are looking to shortly make it a global patent. This is our field MVP that is ready. We had the small scale prototype in the lab. And of course, this is our detailed spec drawing. From this particular graph, you can see about 50% comes from residual CO2 emission, and about 35% comes from the fuel that is required to heat up the raw material. And we are additionally absorbing 14% to make the entire process carbon neutral. I'm the founder. We have Pranshu, who's our strategy head. Chandrasekhar, he's our IT head. Our process is 24% more efficient, lower cost. And even if you account for a higher rate of raw material, we will still be in the green, and we are making further income from the sale of algae and carbon credits. This is our 4 phases. We want to set up the plant in month 8. We are just due to receive the grant money and start working on our project. We are currently looking for about $120,000 in capital to scale our 1 TBD plant. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I would like to ask Elif to join us and give your feedback on the presentation. Elif, if you can join us.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Abid. Well, when you are pitching about your startup, first of all, avoid too much text in your slides, because when your slide is too crowded, it's impossible to see and to hear what you are really saying, and to give a message, a clear message to the audience as well. So and also avoid to use so much graphs or very little small numbers that they are not visible to the audience as well. In each slide, try to give one message and try to make it more structured way. So just start with the problem and then what you are solving and how you are solving the market itself. So your slides should be much clearer than they are right now. These are my first comments on this.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. Elif.
Thank you so much, Elif, for your feedback. I would like to ask Matt to join us and also give your feedback. Matt, if you can share your thoughts on the presentation. Right, so if we still, I guess, waiting for Matt to join. David Graham, if you can also give us the feedback.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I think there is clearly a problem that you are addressing there. I don't think anyone is questioning the market opportunity. I think the three bits of feedback that I would give, one is very quickly to follow on Elif's point, is that, remember, you're telling a story here. So, I think you had some really good data to share, and I think you extracted the right data out of what you were trying to do in terms of the presentation or the pitch deck that you were presenting. But graphic designers don't cost a lot. Just put together something there, so you're just essentially anchoring the arguments, and we can sort of see the opportunity on the slides. Would be my first bit of feedback. My second bit of feedback is that I do think there are infrastructure investors out there, but I suppose I'm questioning whether this has to be a legality-backed element or pitch, in terms of, I think the driver here is if a government or a council or an industry is trying to meet current regulations. I think that gives investors a lot of confidence. I'm not sure about the Indian market, but if you could demonstrate that in some way, I think that's always sort of useful. And then I think my last point would be, my sense is that the money that you're asking for is, essentially to run sort of feasibility here. I think it's always difficult when you're trying to, if I've got this wrong, my sort of understanding that there is more of an expensive infrastructure product that sits behind this, and you're essentially running a management co that's trying to sort of sit alongside what a bigger investment would look like. And look, in one way, you've sort of done a job, right? Is that for those investors that would be interested, they're going to jump on and ask those sort of technical questions. But I think, that I suppose my point that underlines that, it's as much about the story as it is about the structure. And I would say, in your case, it's probably going to be more about how you structure the investment opportunity that's going to determine whether you're successful or not. So those are my 3 points.
David, if I can, just quickly
Sure.
respond to that. There is the new carbon trading market that is going to come into existence in 2026. All industries are given a mandate to reduce their emission by a certain percentage every year. The price of carbon, now the carbon is going to get priced in India. Second, we are also exploring other countries like Australia, where there is a much more conscious effort. And in terms of capital, we believe we have a much more scalable and modular system. Hence, the beginning number is so low. But as we scale, we have a slightly more circus kind of a feel where we put up the tent where the customers are, and remove it when there is none. So that is our thought process. And I didn't catch your second point, David.
That was my second and third you covered. My first point is I think you have some great data to show. Just be conscious that in the short time and the limited screen space, what we can see as investors is always really, really important. So you have some great data to share. Just remember that we're on this tiny little screen. So pull out, use a graphic designer. What's it going to cost? A couple of $100, and put together a deck that's great for this this environment, rather than something you're sharing via email.
Thank you so much, David. I would also ask Tiago to join us and give us the feedback on the pitch. Tiago, please, if you can also contribute.
Hi, Abid. Congratulations for your presentation. I would like to add some comments here regarding the presentation itself, because to be honest, I did not quite understand the solution or the innovation behind it. And it's very related with the way that you presented. Okay, so I'll give my feedback for that. The pitch deck is really, really important. So as Elif already said, the big number of text makes you lose the audience. So you probably lost most part of the audience that was hearing you now. The text was confused, so the pitch deck was confused because this big number of text. You didn't use headlines, you didn't use like some structure in the deck that could give us clarity to understand what you would like to pass, the message that you'd like to pass. So when you're looking for investment, it's very, very important to connect with the audience and keep the connection until the end. So this is a constructive idea for you, like a feedback for you, that you should really look for a pitch deck, like build some design behind it, make it very clear, very concise, avoid using this very number of text, because the idea that I have is like you were like showing a Word document and not like a PDF or a PPT or something like this. So it's really, really important for you to solve this before you showing this again. Okay, so this is the feedback that I will leave to you.
Thank you so much, Tiago. Thank you for your feedback, and we are moving on for our next presentation. So next will be Dipansh. If you can also join us.
Okay, so everyone, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dipansh Malhotra, and I'm the founder of this application called HitFame. So now, as everyone knows, that media and entertainment is a vast industry, but still people find it pretty difficult when it comes to building their careers or getting work in the industry. And I have spent more than 18 years working in the media and entertainment industry in different sectors, and have now built a platform, this next generation AI-based networking app, for people to get work in the industry. So anybody who wants to work in the media and entertainment industry, they come on our platform, they select their interest, they build their profile, and we help them. And with our algorithms, we help them in connecting with like-minded people on the platform, so that they could start building the network. And at the same time, we provide them with a lot of jobs on this platform related to the talent. Apart from that, we do help them in connecting with industry leaders, and apart from that, we do help them in scaling up their talent as we do a lot of events and workshops on the platform as well. So this is the platform where we take care of their talent, how to connect them with the industry experts. We provide them the latest news on the platform. So this is a one-stop shop for all the requirements related to media and entertainment industry. We have already got it started with more than 150,000 users on the platform. And now I'm going to talk about why this platform is the market fit, because we believe that this is the biggest platform where we solve not just one but various other problems. As you know, with any new or an aspiring artist or an aspiring talent, the biggest problem they face is number one is the lack of visibility. They have limited networking opportunities. There are a lot of monetization challenges, and it's pretty hard to find a job. Same and last part will be in connecting with the industry, with the industry experts as well. So HitFame empowers entertainers and take care of all of these problems under one roof. We do have a lot of if you talk about a competition, we do have a lot of competition as well. We got inspired through LinkedIn, like how we connect on a corporate level on LinkedIn, but people from the media and entertainment industry still they don't have a platform where they could build a network, which is why we got inspired from LinkedIn. We have other platforms like Mandy, Stage 32, Hustle Up. There are Talent Track. There are a lot of more platforms as well, but those platforms are more like a job giving platform. And our focus was to focus on the problems and help people to building the network as well. Basically now I'm going to talk about our target audience. Our target audience at the moment on the platform are, number one, are the aspiring people, aspiring entertainers in the field of actors, singers, dancers, filmmaker. Number two will be the established entertainers who are already seasoned, who are already working in the industry. Number three will be the freelancers, who work in the industry, and the event organizers and the event organizers and industry professionals in the end. So basically, HitFame connects all the aspiring entertainers and professionals under offering a dynamic platform to showcase talent, discover opportunities, grow in the entertainment industry. So whether you're an emerging artist or established star, HitFame is definitely your gateway to success. Now I'm going to talk about the monetization part and our revenue streams. So our revenue streams are pretty simple. Number one is a premium subscription. So the platform is free for everyone, but we have certain subscription plans where the users can gain more benefits and more services. They can enhance their profile. They can apply for multiple jobs. There are a lot of other features as well. Second will be the commission. So there are a lot of talent who are getting booked through our platform as well. And anyone who gets work or booked through a platform, so we take a 10% commission out of it. Number three, once we hit a certain user base of about 1 million users, so we'll start with the advertisements on the platform as well. And number four is our paid events and paid workshops that we do keep having, or we keep doing on our platform to engage our users to upskill the talent. So by combining these revenue streams, HitFame ensures a sustainable business model while continuously enhancing the value provided to our users. This approach allows us to support the growth and success of entertainers in the industry effectively. Success market, if I talk about the market, it is a growing industry. It's $1 billion. About our traction till date, as I mentioned earlier, I've already got 155,000 registered users on the platform. Have a lot of success stories, have helped a lot of people to get work in the industry. And app-wise, our retention rate is pretty good. It's more than 67%. People spend more than 20 minutes as an average time on our application as well. And we truly believe that we will be the future, where we will be the platform where we will be the future to bring in jobs in the media and entertainment industry, and we will power that through our platform all over. Team I'm going to talk about is currently we are 2 founders. It's me and my brother. And apart from that, we have our whole in-house technical team, the digital team, the talent team. Everything is in-house. We are currently raising $2 million USD for next 18 to 24 months. That will be spent on a team and technology and marketing purpose. And our focus is to build a user base of around 18 million to 20 million users on the platform by that time. I would love to have any questions if you guys have, and I'll answer any questions if you guys have.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Now it's time to give the feedback. I would like to invite David Penn to give the feedback on pitch presentation. Please, David, if you can join us.
I think for the most part, it was a great pitch. For the most part, the deck was also stylistically aligned. So it was pleasant to look at. Probably because this is the second to last pitch. I'll just say this now, but in my previous company, we part of what we did was evaluate pitch decks. So we actually received over 10,000 that we had AI analyze. And what we had found was that the ideal number of words per slide before anyone loses focus is about 30. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think most of your slides were pretty good, but there was some that definitely had more than 30 words and that I didn't want to read. What I thought your tool was effectively, I saw it and I thought, oh, it's LinkedIn for creatives. But then you highlighted a bunch of competitive products and you said that the main difference was that they're more of a job platform, whereas you're kind of a catch-all solution. I don't actually know what a catch-all solution is, and I would have imagined that the primary purpose is to find a job. So I just was not sure how you were different to some of the other competitors. The other thing that you had highlighted was I think you had 4 or 5 different user profiles. I think the difficulty is that each group of users, even though they are similar in some ways, they're all going to have their own unique problems, unique spending habits, and sort of unique issues. And to try to cater for all of them rather than building an optimized solution for maybe the largest or the portion of the group that feels the most amount of pain just seems like you're signing up to do way too much. What I actually really liked, though, was the traction. I was pleasantly surprised. It seems like you've actually got a lot of good traction. You've already got a lot of users. So clearly, I think that you've shown preliminarily that the tool works, that people actually really enjoy it, and that there is some kind of need. So it would have been cool to actually see the breakdown of the types of users that go on and what they do on the app, and then shown that you're optimizing for those specific users. One thing that I was not too sure about was having a lot of revenue streams. I think that there's this sort of fallacy for a lot of startups that having multiple revenue streams is the key to success, or is the key to stay financially viable. But I think that the better or the more pertinent strategy is to have just 1 or 2 and really optimize so that that single revenue stream is as high as possible. Because when you have commissions and the subscriptions and all of these other things, you end up trying to cater to all of them. And then I guess the final point I want to make is you said you wanted $2 million for team, marketing and tech, but you already have an in-house dev team. So you already have the team, you already have the tech. So I'm a bit confused as to why you want $2 million to get all of that when it seems like you have a rudimentary working product and it's just about scaling it. So I think more focusing on distribution is probably a better solution. But otherwise, I thought it was a really cool pitch. Great deck. Yeah.
Definitely, I've got your points. I'm definitely going to implement that.
Thank you so much, David, for your feedback. Now I would like to invite Tiago to give us the feedback as well. Tiago, please join us.
Hello, congratulations for a pitch. I got the idea of connecting artists in the entertainment field, but I missed some features. Like I think you should, and you could explore more the features that you have inside the app or inside your idea in general. And especially I missed like how you would differentiate you from the competition. I mean, it looks like you don't have much competition, but it would be great for you to explain a little bit more about what to do differently from the others. And also, if you already have some customers, it would be nice like to show like some previous artists that you already succeeded to connect with industries, for instance, with other platforms that will make movies, like some kind of practical numbers in how your traction is going. So that would be my feedback for you.
Thank you for your thing. I'm definitely going to look back to this, and definitely will add this in the deck as well.
Thank you so much, Tiago. And now I would like to invite Alex to give us the feedback as well. Alex, please join us.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for your pitch. So first of all, I would like to say that it would have been quite helpful to see the problem that you've mentioned quantified, to give a better perspective of how big of a problem it actually is. Also, I would have personally liked to see when you talk about how much you're planning to raise, not only talk about the money and what it would go towards, but also mention what kind of assistance would you like from investors other than the money. So, for example, help with building a product or access to new markets or give you a better opportunity to hire experienced team members or the other things that you would feel are the most relevant at this stage. Also, when you talk about your competition, I think that particular aspect is lacking at the moment. So do mention much more in terms of comparison between different features that you offer in relation to them, as well as the non-product differentiation, like for example the market that you cover or the customer base or the pricing options and other aspects.
Thank you so much, Alex, for your feedback. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a very nice effort from your side, and I'm very thankful for your contributions today. Thank you so much to you and also the presenters, the startup founders who pitched on the day. It was our Indian startup pitch presentation, and stay tuned for the following sessions.